Now, there's a lot of prompting strategies, and some of them are quite ridiculous methods and how you can communicate to the model. Um, if you dig the internet, you'll come up on these like very bizarre prompting methods, which looks like sorcery and is like looks very arcane and specialized. But the reality is, um, we really advocate for simple instruction communication as your sole prompting method. Now, if there are methods that do work and do have useful applications, like ACT or REACT or tree of thought prompting, but the truth is they have a pretty narrow scope of applications. They don't just work for any use case that you can invent. And they require a pretty advanced setup, and there's a lot of feedback evaluation they need to do to get them to something that is actually workable. They don't just work out of the box. Um, we're going to focus on the broadest, oldest, and most resilient to the test of time approaches and principles that have worked since the models have come about. And what you'll notice about all these methods is that they're all about just giving instructions to the model in plain language. There's no like special code or this like arcane process about it. It's literally just like just tell the model what you want. And if that sounds disappointing and you're like, wow, I thought I came here for some actual prompting insights, I want to assure you that the leading uh, model providers, such as OpenAI and Anthropic, they have a backend prompt, so a prompt that tells the model on how to behave every time you speak with it. And you would think that those prompts are the best of the best. They're state of the art. They use the best prompt engineers in the world. Well, lo and behold, these methods also just use straight, plain instructions without any kind of a special arcane language to it. Let me show you the backend prompt from ChatGPT. So this is a backend prompt for ChatGPT. So every time you go to chat.openai.com and you put in a request, this gets slapped on to your prompt as a guideline. And as you can see, it's just a list of very plain instructions. Do not ask for permission to generate an image, just do it. The prompt must be in English. Translate from English if need be. Uh, do not create images of politicians or other public figures. My favorite is if you are like fact checking, be sure to be very thorough unless it's a recipe. So they're like basically trolling there. Like if somebody's asking for a recipe, then anything goes. You're like all bets are off. But anything else, really do want to fact check it. Like we want to be sure you take responsibility for that. Same with Claude. Claude has been kind of like my favorite model. If you look at that backend prompt, same thing. Give concise responses. Don't engage in stereotyping, including negative stereotyping of majority groups. And you're happy to help with writing analysis and question answering. So I hope that gets across to you that you really just telling the model what you want and being good at conveying your instructions in plain English is sufficient to be the state-of-the-art prompt engineer. So let's talk about these principles that work across models that are just general practices about prompting because we rely on the overall mechanics of how prompts and models work. There's no magic here. We're literally just like kind of telling you how to convey your ideas in a clear and succinct and unambiguous way. It's kind of like you just hired an intern that's very, very smart. Like the intern read the entire internet, but the intern has no idea what you do or what you want from them. And so you need to tell them your desires in a clear way in order to get a response that you expect from them. Remember that the model is a map of language which it learned from the internet. Well, the internet, I don't know if you've hung out much on the internet, but it has a lot of trash in it, and it has a lot of vile content. This means that when you use poor language, like poor sentence structure, slang, and layman terms, you're directing the model towards a corner of the internet with poor sentence structure, slang, and layman terms. Um, so developers do their best to remedy this fault, of course, but you're still not doing the model a service by just writing in conversational language because you're going to stumble on content on the content of the internet that is on like YouTube comments or political rambles or Reddit barrages, um, content that you don't really want. So to get all these kind of principles under one roof, I'm going to show you an example. What's a bad prompt? A bad prompt is write 10 ideas about sharing lab space in universities. One sentence, lots of ambiguity, not very clear what kind of universities, what kind of lab space. You might get back what you were looking for, but the chance of that is 1 in 100. Rather, what you would want to say is, so first, a little context. I'm working in an engineering department within a university that has recently become an R2 research university. There's that specialized terminology. The amount of lab space is fixed, but the number of total faculty, as well as the faculty responsible for research, is increasing. So I'm just setting the first two sentences are just setting the stage. And then sentence three, I'm finally coming to the question that I want to ask. How can we solve the problem of limited lab space? And don't stop there. I bring to attention of the model the elements that are especially important to me when addressing this issue, while still ensuring safety, research quality, equipment access, and faculty autonomy. So much more effusive and detailed in what I'm trying to say.